The Spotless Pig. It was time for the cross-country run at animal school. All the animals were on the start line waiting for Mrs. Hooper, the teacher, to shout go. Patty the pig stood nervously to one side. "Come on, Patty," Mrs. Hooper called. "I don't want to run," Patty grumbled. "I'll get too dirty." The sky grew dark, and it began to rain. Patty went and sheltered under a tree. She watched her friends warming up on the start line, getting wetter and wetter. "I'll run with you, Patty," called Latif the lion. "It'll be fun." Patty shook her head. She wasn't like other pigs. She couldn't bear getting dirty or wet. Patty tried to keep as squeaky clean as she possibly could. So Patty's friend ran without her. They raced across the playground. They sped across the wet grass, and they waded through the muddy puddles. The animals were soon filthy and wet, but none of them seemed to mind. Tessie the tortoise won because she could run the fastest. "Yippee!" she cried as she crossed the finish line. After they had cleaned themselves up, Patty's friends headed off to their after-school clubs. "I wish there was a club I could join," said Patty miserably. "But everything is just too messy." "Why don't you join the cooking club?" "I'm baking a cake," barked Toby the terrier through the kitchen window. There was a big blob of cake mixture on his nose. "Oh, I don't think so. I might get flour all over me," said Patty. "But I will help you eat the cake afterwards." "Why not come to art club with me?" suggested Oliver the owl. "We could do a painting together, or make something out of clay." "But I might get paint on my hands, and clay is very messy. I think I'll just watch," sighed Patty. So Patty watched Oliver mix some paints to make green, brown, and blue. He painted a picture of an owl soaring through the sky. Oliver got some paint over his feathers, but it didn't matter. Mrs. Hooper soon helped him wash it off. The next day, the sun was shining, and the weather was very hot. Patty came to school covered in sun cream, carrying an umbrella to keep the sun off her skin. "It's much too hot," she said, frowning. "I can't bear it." "I like the sunshine," roared Latif the lion, as he chased a butterfly across the playground. "Me too!" cried Tessie, who was laying on the grass. "The hotter, the better." Patty went straight to the classroom and stayed out of the sun all day. But Patty couldn't escape the sun on the way home from school. Her house was on the other side of the park. Patty sighed miserably and put up her umbrella before trotting quickly across the grass. Just then, Patty spotted Toby the terrier going for a swim in the pond. "Hello, Toby," she called, waving as she walked over to greet him. Toby climbed out of the pond and pranced towards Patty. Then, with a grin on his face, he shook himself dry, spraying water everywhere. Patty covered her face with her umbrella. "Stop it! I'm getting soaked!" she squealed. Patty stepped backwards to avoid the spray of muddy water. She lost her footing on the slippery bank, and down she tumbled into the muddiest part of the pond. "I'm so sorry," barked Dobby, looking very worried. To his surprise, Patty didn't move. "This mud is lovely and cool. For the first time all day I'm not too hot," she grunted with pleasure. Patty rolled over so that she was muddy from head to toe. Only her pink nose and ears peeped through. "Getting dirty isn't so bad after all," she laughed. "And now you won't need to wear sun cream," said Dobby. "The mud will protect your skin." The next day, Patty decided to join the cooking club. "Who cares about getting messy? Not me," she squealed in delight, as her friends clapped and cheered.